Have you ever noticed that some simple things have an incredible ability to change our lives? A book can inspire us, a song can touch our hearts, and an ordinary object can remind us of important life lessons. Today, let's meet a man named Mason Collins who owns a very special ladder. This isn't any ordinary ladder. Oh no. This ladder has a magical power to heal broken relationships and bring people together. But how does it do that? Well, let's find out. In the heart of Nebraska, nestled among rows of cornfields and cozy homes, lies the town of Hawthorne. It's a place where everyone knows everyone, and the friendly atmosphere makes you feel right at home. Here, in a peaceful neighborhood, lined with tall oak trees and white picket fences, stands a modest house with a garage. This house belonged to an old carpenter named James Collins. He was known throughout the town for his beautiful wooden creations and his willingness to lend a helping hand to anyone in need. James lived here with his wife, Martha, and their two children, Mason and Lily. Their home was always filled with laughter, the sweet aroma of freshly brewed coffee, and the sound of hammering as James taught his children the art of woodworking. But as time went on, James's health began to fail him. The sparkle in his eyes dimmed, and the strength in his hands grew weaker. Despite this, he never lost his sense of humor or his kind heart. One day, James called his family to his bedside. With trembling hands, he handed Mason a well-worn wooden ladder. "This ladder has been with me for many years," he said, his voice hoarse but steady. "It's seen many projects, many repairs, and many smiles. Now I pass it on to you, Mason. Use it to help others. Help them with a smile and without expecting anything in return." James knew that this ladder wasn't just a tool. It was a symbol of the values he had tried to instill in his children: kindness, generosity, and the satisfaction that comes from serving others. Sadly, James passed away a few weeks later, leaving behind a legacy of love and woodworking excellence. Years passed, and Mason Collins grew into a kind, hard-working man. Always remembering his father's words about the ladder, Mason moved away from Hawthorne to pursue his dreams, leaving the ladder in the care of his younger sister Lily. Lily treasured the ladder, keeping it safe in the garage, but she also understood the importance of passing it on to the next generation. One day, Lily called Mason. Her voice was shaky as she told him their mother had passed away peacefully in her sleep. She asked Mason to come home as soon as possible to sort through their belongings. During the trip, Mason couldn't help but reminisce about his childhood. He thought about the times he and his sister had snuck into their father's workshop, mesmerized by the dance of his hammer and saw. The scent of sawdust still lingered in the air, mixing with the rich aroma of wood and the faint echoes of their father's laughter. When Mason arrived home, he found that Lily had already packed most of their things. The house seemed strangely empty without the sound of his mother's humming or the sight of her freshly baked pies cooling on the windowsill. As he walked into the garage, his eyes fell upon the ladder leaning against the wall. It looked just as he remembered, the wood worn smooth by years of use, the rungs creaking a familiar tune. A few weeks after the funeral, Mason decided to finally clear out the house. He wanted to honor his parents' memory by donating whatever he could to the local charity shop. As he sorted through his belongings, he came across the old ladder. He ran his hand over the weathered wood, each groove and not telling a story of a job well done, a helping hand offered, or simply a day filled with sunshine and hard work. It was more than just a ladder. It was a tangible piece of his father's legacy, a silent witness to countless acts of kindness. And in that moment, Mason made a decision. He wouldn't sell the ladder or donate it. He would keep it, not for himself, but for his children, Ellie and Ben. He wanted them to understand the value of hard work, the satisfaction of a job done right, and most importantly, the joy of giving back to their community. That weekend, Mason took his children to see their grandparents' house. As they stood in the driveway, Ellie and Ben looked up at the ladder, marveling at its height and sturdiness. "Wow! This ladder looks so cool!" Ellie exclaimed, her eyes shining with excitement. Mason smiled and nodded, his heart swelling with pride. "It is pretty special," he agreed, "and it has a special meaning for our family." After the visit, Mason kept the ladder in his garage, using it to fix his house or add a shelf to Ellie's room. Watching her father climb the ladder to hang her Christmas ornaments, Ellie couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and admiration. "Daddy, you're like a superhero," she said with a big smile. Mason chuckled and ruffled her hair. "Well, it helps to have a good ladder," he replied, glancing at the sturdy old thing. "It's a keeper," he added softly, thinking about his father. As the years passed, the ladder became a part of their family's daily life. It was there whenever they needed it, ready to help with any project, big or small. It stood silently, a testament to the enduring power of family, legacy, and the joy of helping others. Then one day, Mrs. Clark, an elderly woman who lived a few houses down the street, needed some help. Her gutters were overflowing and she couldn't reach them from the ground. Hearing about Mason and his trusty ladder, she called him up. When he arrived, he used the ladder to fix her gutters and clean her yard, all with a smile and a cheerful word. "Your father would be proud of you, Mason," she said, handing him a pie as he left. "He always helped me with my yard work, too." Word of Mason's kindness spread throughout the neighborhood, and soon he was receiving calls from all corners of Hawthorne. People needed shelves installed, gutters cleaned, and tree branches trimmed, and Mason was always there to help. He became known as the man with the magic ladder, and children would point and wave whenever they saw him passing by. "Look, it's the ladder man," they would cry, their laughter echoing through the streets. And all the while, the old ladder stood tall and proud in Mason's garage, silently witnessing the good it was doing, the lives it was touching, and the legacy it was helping to carry on. Through it all, Mason felt a deep sense of satisfaction. He knew he wasn't just fixing houses. He was mending relationships, creating memories, and honoring his father's name. He realized that the true magic of the ladder wasn't in its wood or its rungs, but in the kindness and generosity it inspired. It was a reminder that even the simplest of tools can become a symbol of hope, service, and love when guided by a pure heart. So if you ever find yourself with a broken fence, leaky gutters, or a wobbly ladder, remember the story of Mason Collins. Let it inspire you to help others, to share what you have, and to treat every task, no matter how small, as an opportunity to make someone's day a little brighter. After all, as James Collins once told his son, the best things in life aren't things at all, but the acts of kindness and love we share along the way. So, grab your tools, climb your ladder, and let your own story of generosity begin. The world needs more heroes with hammers and saws, and you never know whose life you might touch with a simple act of kindness.